Hello, my lovelies. Hi, goddaughters, soon to be goddaughters, my beautiful young goddesses and gods. I am going to prepare the hex jar for you. As I always say, the most important thing is intent, 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 energy, energy, energy. So, the first thing you need to do is you need to purify the jar. So, we're going to put the Palo Santo smoke in there, all around the jar. Then we're also going to bless the area. Practice Santeria. So, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, protect me and protect this work. You want to cleanse your area. You don't want any extra energy that is not of the intent that you want. You don't want no blockages while you're doing your hexing jar. Okay? The next thing you want to get ready while you're waiting for the jar to purify should be maybe 3 to 4, 5 seconds. So now I want to get you guys to prepare what's going to go inside of this jar. You want to get your hot foot powder. I gave you guys a recipe for it on your own. I also sell it. If you're unable to do your own little mixture. Oh. And I'm going to put it in my mullet and pestin. This is, very important in Hoodoo, Santeria. Go get yourself one. Trust me. It's so worth it. Because in Hoodoo and Santeria, we use a lot of the herbs. And it's nice to have something where you can grind them all up. The reason for grinding them all up is also you're putting energy into it. Anytime that you're working, you want to put as much as energy as you can into the work. This is sulfur. So I want to add a little extra sulfur. Not too much, not too less. Okay. Just a tad bit. You can also use grind up matches heads. It has sulfur in it as well. Then you want to get some of your ancestor dirt. Graveyard dirt, ancestor dirt, same difference. You want to throw a little bit of that inside of your jar. So we want to grind that all up together. Then we want to throw in a nice herbal mix of bad intent. And then you want to put some catnip in there. That's what's also inside of my little herbal jar. I have catnip. I have coffee. I have a number of other herbs that I do use to set the intent. Anything in spirituality is about intent, and certain herbs have magical properties. So I would say invest in an herbal book for Hoodoo. It would be easier to read than Santeria. Most Santeria is in Spanish. So unless you're bilingual, Hoodoo works almost in the same sense. So you want to grind and mix all that stuff together like so. Get everything mixed up real good. Okay. So now it's time to open up the jar. Hear it. You want to pour the contents in the jar from the mullet You want to get all that in there. And then you also want to make sure that you wash this and that you purify it to reset the incense. So here we have graveyard dirt, we have hotfoot, we have sulfur, we have catnip, coffee, and a few other herbs. So the next step is to get our oils. You can buy the little oils like this, especially if you're not really a professional hexer or a professional spiritual worker. So you really don't need your own. I do sell little bottles of certain oils with energies in it. So I'm going to use the coconut because that symbolizes Papaleba, Ishu. And I'm going to put a little bit of this in there so we can open up the road so my petition can be heard. Now, the next step is we're going to play a little bit of pretend. I'm going to say, okay, that I printed a picture of the person, or I have the person's name and their birth date. So this is the time where you're going to, too much paper, write the person's name. I'm just going to say John Smith. And if you have their picture, let's just say, and whatever you're trying to do, I know I do not draw well, but oh well. You're going to want to cross their eyes out so they cannot see what you're doing. If they go to another spiritualist and they say, oh, I feel like I'm hexed. Well, if you don't cross their eyes out, the other spiritualists can find out who put the curse on them and then reverse it. Then you want them to keep their mouth closed. Okay? So you want to mark over their mouths. Okay? Now, if you have their name, like I said, I'm just going to say John Smith because this jar isn't for anybody in particular. I want to write John Smith's name down 5 times. Odd numbers are very important in Hoodoo, Santeria, and even if you're into Wicca, odd numbers hold a certain property. Also, sequence of numbers holds a certain property. So then you want to go ahead and you want to mark over their name. You want to put whatever it is that you feel you want to be done to this person. Then you want to take the paper that you wrote the person's name and their picture is on. Never fold it towards you. Once again, being a spiritual priestess, I can tell you right now, if the jar isn't done right, the person will find out and they can send it back to you even up to 10 folds. So you want to always keep it away from you. Then you want to bind them. Okay? Then you want to fold it another time. We refolded it until you can no longer see the picture. Now you want to fold it again away from yourself. You want to do it 3 times. Okay? So you should end up with a little piece of paper like this, and the flap should not be facing you. Then you want to take your twine or your red thread, and you want to completely bind this person. So you're going to but you're going to wrap that thread around there, and you want to tie it. Because we're binding them. Like, no, fuck you. You shitted on me. Whoever you is, bitch, leave me alone. Whatever the case and point is of the reason why you want to make a hex jar. You want to throw that in there. Now, some people use dog poo. Some people use their own urine. I'm really a fan of spitting in my work. My hex jars. So I would spit 3 times. I'm not going to do that on video. But it's up to you. You want to use dog poo, you want to use your pee, you want to use your spit, that's fine. Once again, if you use your pee, it's like you pissed me off. Or if you use dog poo, like you're a piece of shit. If you spit, that's like the highest form of disrespect. Like, I spit on you, spit on your grave. Then you want to go ahead and stick some pins in there. Because you want them to have all over body pain. This is not light work. This is very, very dark work. So think about it before you do it, okay? And so you're sticking pins in there so that they can be uncomfortable. Kind of like pins and needles. Then we're going to add some doom oil, or this is your lover don't want you no more, so you will have no relationship. Okay. Now, once you have everything in the jar and you're satisfied with whatever you pick to put in it, such as powders and certain oils, and your herbs are all in there, you want to sit here and you want to pour either vinegar or ammonia. But it's either one or the other. Don't pour both. Especially if you're using urine, I don't think ammonia would be a good choice. I mean, I don't want none of you guys to get hurt. These bottles can crack. The lids can pop. So after you put the ammonia or the vinegar in it, you want to close the jar, and you want to put the intent in it. So you think about the person, you hate the person, whatever you want, and you ask your petition to be heard. You shake it all up. Okay. Then you want to stick a black candle on top of this. And you want to, well, this is gray. Gray, black, it don't really matter. Stick it on there. You're going to light it. Let the candle melt down. After that is done, then you're going to want to, for 7 days, you want to go and put this in a very dark place. But you want to make sure that you shake it 7 times at one setting. Put it back in the darkness. At the 7th day, this jar needs to leave. This jar shouldn't even be in your home.